What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Horror, this is Ethan Horror, and today we are finally back with a brand new video. And if you're wondering why am I back after 2 months? Well, I wouldn't have taken a break for 2 months if there wasn't this little thing called the TikTok ban. And you're probably wondering, you make YouTube videos. How does that affect you? Because you don't make TikToks. Well, TikTok also has a little partnership, I guess, with CapCut, which happens to be the website I use to edit my videos. So, I was in the process of editing a video. That video was my horror movie collection, so it was 3 hours of footage, and then it got banned, and I didn't know that CapCut was going to get banned along with TikTok, so when TikTok went, I was like, oh crap. So yeah, it got deleted, and so all of that footage that I was editing just went gone. So erased from existence. So I'm gonna have to redo that video, but until I redo that video, we're gonna be giving you my top 15 horror movie moments.
I want to play a game.
Here's Johnny!
This is God. It's showtime.
But it brings us to our current suspects. Ethan.
Coming in at number 15, I have my favorite jump scare of all time, and one of the scariest movie moments ever. The lawnmower scene from Sinister. Yeah, it's terrifying. It's excellently, crafted, the way that it, slowly builds up, and you just don't know what's gonna happen, because I forget what the tape's called, but it's lawn mowing something. I think it's just lawnmower, maybe? But you just hear this lawnmower rev up, and you're like, oh, what's going on here? So it's just kind of mowing along, and nothing's happening, and you're not expecting anything to happen. It's just kind of like, you kind of let your guard down, and then all of a sudden, just right in your face, just a loud scream, I guess. There's I don't know really what the source of the noise is in this clip, or in this scene, but yeah, it's just, you don't really know what the source of the noise is, which also kind of makes it scarier. But yeah, it's my favorite jump scare of all time, and one of the scariest movie moments for me. Coming in at number 14, we have Frankenstein, It's Alive.
It's alive. It's moving. It's alive. Oh, it's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive.
This is one of my favorite classic scenes. I'm not a huge fan of many of the Universal Monster movies. I watched all of them recently, not all of the sequels, all the original ones, and I didn't love most of them. I thought a lot of them were very boring, but I love Frankenstein, and this scene is so iconic, and it's pretty much this is when horror started to become a thing, because you just had Dracula, and now you get Frankenstein, and now they're starting to actually have horror films. And so not only is this scene great, as he finally gets to experience what it's like to be God, and he makes a person, and he's that whole scene, but it also I think is kind of saying it's alive to the horror genre. Coming in at number 13, it has to be on the list. It has to be the shower scene from Psycho. You can't not have the shower scene from Psycho on any list involving horror movie moments. I don't think I guess scariest, I probably wouldn't put it on the scariest, but yeah, you can't leave it off the list. It's not even that I necessarily love the moment and think it's the best thing of all time, But this moment alone basically created modern horror and created slasher movies. Number 12, we have a plot twist. So if you don't want The Sixth Sense spoiled for you, plug your ears. Alright. He's been dead the whole time is such a great twist. And I know it had been done before because you had the whole twist in Jacob's Ladder, but I mean, I don't think Jacob's Ladder was as highly regarded, and like not as many people know Jacob's Ladder, but people know The Sixth Sense. People know M. Night Shyamalan, and for good reason, because he pulled off one of the greatest twists in movie history. I mean, you have all of the pieces to figure it out. You have all of the puzzle pieces. They're all there for you to figure out the twist, but you just never think to put it together. You don't know that there is a twist because like the pieces that they give you are so minuscule, but then when you go back and look at them, you're like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense. Like coming in at number 11, I think is one of, I have a few kills on here, but this is going to be Jason's death from Friday the 13th, the final chapter. This was supposed to be the end of the Friday the 13th franchise. This moment was supposed to be the end. It was supposed to be over after this. Obviously, it didn't, and we got 8 more movies, but this was supposed to be the end. And honestly, if it would have, that would have been a phenomenal ending to the horror franchise. I mean, ending on the best movie of the franchise with the final chapter, and just Jason's death is super well done. It's super gory, super graphic. Due to Tom Savini's makeup work. I just love the way he dies. Like, it felt very final. Like, there's no way he can come back from that. He's dead. And he actually does die, like, for a horror slasher villain. Like, he is actually put down by this. Coming in at number 10, we're finally into our top 10. We have another one of the scariest movie moments for me, and that is the hide and clap scene from The Conjuring.
Hey, wanna play hide and clap?
It's so well done. The way she's playing hide and clap with the kids, and then she goes into the basement, and then she gets locked in the basement, and then she's lighting the matches, and it's like burning out so that she can see, and then she lights another one. I think she gets to like her 3rd match, and then the hands reach out from the shadow and just... It's so good because at that point you have forgotten all about the fact that they were playing hide and clap, and you just are focused on what she's doing right now and if she's going to be safe or whatever's going on with the demon. Coming in at number 9, I have the opening scene of Scream.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
What other opening scene did you expect? I mean, it's Scream. The only other opening scene I did consider putting this on the list was the ghost ship opening scene, but that movie's so crap that I didn't want to give it the list. So, but the Scream opening scene, I mean, what can I say that hasn't already been said about the Scream opening scene? I genuinely think this is the scariest moment in the franchise. It has some of the most iconic lines of the franchise. What's your favorite scary movie? A lot of the, like, just the whole phone call, it's iconic. You get Drew Barrymore, who was supposed to be the main character of the movie, getting killed in the opening scene, kind of like Psycho killing its main character, which we've already talked about. Coming in at number 8, I have Paranormal Activity's ending. I love Paranormal Activity so much, and this ending is amazing. I mean, you get this whole scene where, you know, they go back to bed, they're sleeping, then she just sits up out of bed, walks downstairs, and it's completely silent because it's found footage, so it's just kind of like there's no music. Just walks downstairs, and then nothing happens for a while because she's, you know, once she's out of frame, you can kind of still hear her walking downstairs, and just it builds all this tension, and then she's gone for like 5 seconds, and then you just hear her scream, which is kind of a jump scare, but not really. I mean, She just starts screaming bloody murder for Micah, and then he leaps up from the bed, sprints downstairs, and then you hear like some screaming and some commotion, and then just silence. Nothing. For like 15 seconds. And you're like, okay, what happened? It might be more than 15 seconds. Like, it's a while. You just sit there in silence, like, what happened? And then you get the amazing, like, I guess it's kind of a jump scare where Micah's body flies and hits the camera. Coming in at number 7, I think one of the most underrated scenes in horror history. And I put it a little bit higher on the list just to see, like, just for you guys to know how good this scene is, and it's so underrated. It's a scene from Child's Play. The batteries scene.
Yeah, sure.
It is so good. It's so well built up as she's just kind of walking around, and then all of a sudden she's like shaking the box and the batteries fall out. And they don't even say anything. They don't even say anything. Or no, because she's like interrogating Chucky. She's like, talk to me something or I'm going to throw you in the fire, I think was the scene. And then she's like, okay. And she's holding Chucky and she shakes the box and the batteries fall out. And it's just kind of that like 10 seconds of silence where she realizes and the audience is like, oh. And then Chucky comes to life, and this is the first time you get to hear Chucky and see him actually acting out, and it's such a well built up scene with excellent tension, and it leads to literally the first time we meet Chucky. So yeah. Coming in at number 6, another classic movie, I'm gonna go with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first appearance of Leatherface. This scene is terrifying. I genuinely think this is the scariest moment in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Basically, they're walking into the house, or the guy's walking into the house, and then he's you just see him like going up this little ramp, and then the door opens, sliding door opens, Leatherface comes out, raises the hammer, one hit to the head, he drops, and then it all happens so fast, and he just drags him behind the door and then just slams it shut. And then nothing. Like, it is such a terrifying moment for me. I absolutely love it. And that's the first time you ever see Leatherface. It's just this quick, like, he just swings that door open, one hit kills this guy, drags him back behind the door, slams it shut in like 15 seconds. So it's just, that's how you introduce a villain. That is how you introduce a villain in a scary way. And my top 5, it is all like I got the ones out of the way that you had to have on the list. You know, the Psycho, Scream. You had to have those. These are my 5 favorite. I didn't let anything else influence me for these top 5. Like, they're some of my favorite movies of all time. And so number 5 is going to be the Prom Night Massacre from Carrie. You guys know I love Carrie. It's my second favorite Stephen King. Obviously my first is It, which is my favorite horror movie ever. Favorite book ever. I love it so much. But Carrie, the Prom Night Massacre, starting with when she has the pig blood dumped on her head. I think just that whole initial part is what I'll count for this. Where she gets the pig blood dumped on her head, then she starts getting that kaleidoscope vision where it's like, oh, they're all gonna laugh at you, and it is just so great watching her like paranoia going on, and then she just starts killing. Her telekinesis activates, and she just starts murdering everybody in this gym. It is a little bit unfortunate when you see the gym teacher get killed, because obviously she's been nice to Carrie, but I think it was like her paranoia. She saw the gym teacher laughing at her, I think. I don't know why she really died, honestly, but this whole scene's too great to not put on my top 5. Coming in at number 4, I have my favorite kill in horror history. And if you know what my favorite kill is, which you might, because I did do a top 10 kills list, it's Candace's death from Final Destination 5. is great. It's my favorite kill ever, just because it's one of those kills that's like, oh, that's gory, and also just like, oh, like it's so gross. I love it. I love it so much. So it's a scene where at the gymnastics place. If you've seen, sure, the clips on TikTok somewhere, where she's spinning around on the thing, and then, you know, all the stuff starts happening. The person steps on the tack, falls back, knocks over a thing of like powder or whatever. The powder gets in Candace's eyes. She slips off the bar, lands like right on her chest pretty much, and her legs just fold over the top, and she just, oh my god, I can't play the clip, but like, she just like, so she hits like right on her chest, and then like her back or like torso right here, everything below her torso just gets folded over the top of her, and she just gets snapped in half like a pretzel. And it is my favorite kill in horror history. Coming in at number 3, I had to put one of the moments from It on the list, and obviously I'm going with Georgie's death.
Hiya, Georgie.
It's a great moment. It could be a short film all by itself. You know, you get the kid, Georgie, I was trying to remember his name, running down the sewer, or running down the street, the boat going down the with the rainwater, and then falling in the sewer. And you're just like, I mean, you know what you're expecting, because it's a movie about a killer clown, you know that. And then Pennywise shows up, and his first appearance, you perfectly are introduced to this character. You know, he's manipulative, and he is terrifying. And boy, does he do both of those things great in this scene. Bill Skarsgård puts in an excellent performance. And, like, it makes it so much better, or I guess so much worse, because it's a kid. This kid's, like, 10 years old. And you watch him get his arm bitten off, and then he just gets dragged back in the sewer, and it's so heartbreaking, especially when you get to see the effect that it had on Bill and his family. Okay, my number 2 and my number 1, I went back and forth on. Number 2, Charlie's death from Hereditary.
Charlie!
Oh my god, I knew going into this movie that this death was going to happen. I knew that in some way, shape, or form, she was going to hit her head on a light post in a car. I did not know how, like, just quick, sudden, and graphic it was going to be. I mean, because the second she's at the party and she starts, like, choking, and she's like, it feels like my throat's getting bigger, and then, so you're immediately just thrust into this stressful situation as the brother, I forget his name, is desperately driving home, like he's speeding home, and so it's just this huge stressful situation. She's in the backseat choking, she rolls down the window to get some air, sticks her head out the window, and then you just see it. Like, they don't show you like all of it, they don't show you like her head getting knocked off, but you see it connect with the pole, and it is graphic. And then everything stops. He breaks, and it's just silent. The whole movie goes silent as he just sits there in shock. And it's so, like, I knew this moment was coming, and it was still so shocking, and just, I mean, it's disturbing. Like, it is. It's so heartbreaking, and it's just, you see his face just, like, pure, just, like, immediately guilt and shock and everything in his face. He does such great acting here. And then he just drives home, and it's all in silence, and you still see it's still focused on him. He goes to bed, he wakes up, you still focused on his face, and then you hear his her mom screaming, and God, it's heartbreaking. Coming in at number 1, the most important horror movie moment to me, my favorite horror movie moment of all time. This moment made me a horror fan. It introduced me to my favorite horror villain, one of my favorite horror movies, and one of my favorite horror kills. So this moment has so much meaning to me that even if you don't like the moment, I don't care. It comes from Freddy vs. Jason, and it's Trey's death. This moment was when I knew I was a horror fan. Like, this was what I loved. So, I've told the story a million times, but I watched As Above, So Below, and then right afterwards, I asked my friend, hey, you want to watch another horror movie? He wanted to watch Nightmare on Elm Street. I wanted to watch Friday the 13th. It only made sense we watched Freddy vs. Jason. And we put it on, and this kill happens. It's you're introduced to Jason. My introduction to Jason, the first time I'd ever seen Jason on screen, who is my favorite horror villain. And he just, I mean, it would have been a great kill if it had stopped after he just stabs him over and over and over. And it's so graphic. And this is my first time ever being like watching a horror movie. And I loved it. I loved it. This scene. And then just also introduced to the Friday the 13th franchise, like the creativeness of the kills, where he grabs each end of the bunk bed and just folds it in half. And the guy who had already been pinned to the bed with the machete just folds like a V. So this is my favorite moment in horror history. And that is going to be it for today's video. Remember, if you did enjoy, make sure to hit like and subscribe. So I know you want to see more videos like it. Otherwise, you can go down below and hit the bell notification if you want to be notified when I post any brand new videos. Otherwise, you can comment down below some more video ideas for me. This is my list. And yeah, if you don't like it, I don't care. See you guys next time.